BBC Radio Humberside.
This is Drive, and Diamond. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, nice to speak to you.
It's nice to talk to you.
I still, put the television on expecting you to be there most days, but it seems like you were there forever.
Thank you. Is that good or bad? I'm off and on, come and go.
Come and go.
Yeah.
Because it was back in the early 80s that most people remember you from the breakfast telly stuff, but I remember you being a Midlander before that.
That's right. Yes, I was there from about 1980. Right. Yeah, doing ATV Today.
ATV Today.
Oh, yeah. In the Tiswas studio.
Fantastic. Yes, and of course, Chris Tarrant still talks about you.
Oh, bless, yes. In fact, I saw him the other day. I was on telly with him the other day, actually, on The Right Stuff.
He's having a bit of a rough time at the moment, isn't he?
Well, it happens to us in the media, doesn't it? We go up, we go down, they knock you up, they knock you down, all the rest of it.
Well, it's whole fair this week, and your life's been a bit of a roller coaster, hasn't it?
Well, it has, yeah.
I mean, and I would describe it, if one word was to come to mind to describe you as an outsider, I would say gutsy.
Gutsy?
Gutsy.
Oh, gutsy. Oh, that's better than... I thought it was going to say ditzy or something like that.
No.
Gutsy. Gutsy is okay,
right.
Yeah.
And a survivor, I would say.
Oh, well, look, no more than anyone listening, in a way. It's just that, when you're in the media, you tend to sort of live your ups and downs in the spotlight. But I know there are people listening now who've had more ups and downs than I have, and they've survived. I think we're all survivors. We all deserve a big badge of merit.
Sure. It's life, isn't it? But, I mean, that's the thing, as you say, being in the media, you kind of like, you wash your smalls in the street, don't you?
Well, even if you don't want to, others will do it for you. Yeah, so you can't always... yes, it bothers you, yeah. But I don't know. As long as I think, there have been ups and downs, and there have been times even when I've been controversial, and like now I suppose I am, but I don't think I've done anything wrong. I stand by most of what I've done, and most of what I've done has got lessons for us all, actually. It's just part of the great kaleidoscope of life.
Yes, well, I suppose that's what makes you a good agony aunt, when you still do that, of course, don't you?
I do, yeah. Well, I don't pontificate and I don't patronise, but I do just sort of lean on my own experiences sometimes to just see if they'll help others.
As you take stock, I mean, we're sort of like me, you're kind of midway through things in life, and it is a time where you take stock of things. How do you feel about where you are now?
I haven't had time to sit and take stock. The very idea that one day you sort of think, I've got 24 hours now, I'll take stock. Life isn't like that for me. I'm always too busy.
You are busy, aren't you?
Yeah.
Is that, do you think, well, I mean, all right, we all know about the fact you've been in the Fit Club recently and you've put a few pounds on. Do you think that's part of why, Anne, is that you're so busy doing everything else?
Yes.
There isn't time to...
I do. I set up the website fathappens.com and called it that because fat does happen to people. It's almost like you wake up one morning and you think, how on earth where did this extra 4 or 5 stone come from? Now, I've had people say to me, that's ridiculous, you can't just wake up and find it's happened to you. But actually, it is a bit like that. I think your life gets taken over by so many other things. I, for instance, had 5 kids. And we all know, how incredibly life-changing that is. And I think you do. You find your lifestyle has changed. I live in the kitchen. I cook. I eat. We're one of those families where everything revolves around the kitchen stove. And I like that too, but
you were so elfin-like, though, weren't you?
Yeah, I was known as the sort of elfin queen of breakfast television, wasn't I? Right. Well, life happens to you sometimes. Fat happens to you sometimes. You end up not quite so elfin.
Don't you think it bothers most women, though?
Oh, I hated it. I always hated. I don't like being overweight. I particularly don't like being unfit, and I suppose even more important than that, I don't like being unhealthy. And if you're talking about taking stock, there was one point where I sat and thought, if I yo-yo diet anymore and I put any more weight on, my health is going to seriously suffer, and I would rather like to be around to see my grandchildren.
Well, I take my hat off to you, the fact that you've gone public with it, because...
I didn't have much choice, actually.
Yes, but having said that, most people were probably trying to conceal things, and on the quiet, maybe if it bothered you, do something about it.
But you see,
very public about
that's the lesson that I want. That's why I'm going on this tour, speaking to people, trying to give them the benefit of my mistakes, if you like. Trying to keep it secret led me to Belgium, to try try and have this operation on the quiet.
Some people don't know what you have done, so
All right.
do you want to just explain?
Yeah.
You've had this gastric belt.
I'd had enough of being overweight, yo-yo dieting, all the rest of it. I'd wasted my 40s battling it, and I was determined I wasn't going to waste my 50s. I'd come to the end of the line as far as diets were concerned, and I thought, right, what can I have? I'd heard vaguely about this thing called a gastric band, and in the end I ended up going to Belgium to have a gastric band fitted. Yeah, what is it, did you say?
It's surgery, isn't it? You have a band.
Oh, it is surgery.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's quite drastic, though, isn't it?
Yeah, well, drastic in that it's surgery, yes. I mean, you're electing for surgery and you feel like you're tempting fate doing that, of course. And it is a full anaesthetic, although it is keyhole surgery, so it's a much simpler operation.
So describe what
medically.
it does, then.
Well, Shaw is here. He's probably better at describing what it does, because he's my surgeon. He's my British surgeon who made it work.
Right.
Hi. Essentially, putting a gastric band into somebody is a bit like putting the brakes on their eating. It's a little rubber ring that's inflatable and adjustable. It goes around the top of the stomach so that when you eat something, the food builds up in a little pouch of stomach, makes you feel full more quickly. So you have to eat slowly, chew it well, and it helps people regulate their own diet when sometimes life doesn't let them.
Now, has this band worked for you then, Anne? How successful has it been?
Well,
and how quickly have the pounds fallen off then?
Well, at first, when I had it done in Belgium, I wondered why it wasn't working, and I gave up on it in the end. After several months of trying, I gave up on it, and that's why I went on to Celebrity Fit Club, and that's why I didn't tell them about it, because by then it was irrelevant. It was only after the enormous furore of when sort of my little scandalous secret came out that I got a phone call from a lady called Donna Ross, who lost 7 stone herself having a gastric band. She now runs a company called the Hospital Group, which actually does these operations in Britain. And she said to me, we don't understand why it's not working for you. Why don't you come along, meet our experts, and we'll try and figure out what it is that's not working. They gave me an X-ray, and we found that it had been put in the wrong place.
Ow.
So in the end, I had the operation all over again. I had the band put in the right place, and it has been, well, that was March. And here we are now, and I'm 4 stone lighter and 5 dress sizes slimmer.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it works when it works.
So you must be around 9.5 now. 10?
No, I'm not going to talk numbers. I tell you what, I have stopped getting on the scales because I have stopped making my weight an obsession. This band has meant that I can shrug all that off. That's the great thing. Freedom from the food trap. It's brilliant.
Going around the country, and you're spreading the word about this, because obviously you want everybody else to benefit from it. So
Well, no, you see, I'm not sort of advertising bands for all, because really that is not the message. Surgery is not for all, and it has to be a last-ditch thing, and it's not even relevant for everybody then.
So
what I
what's the
want
purpose
people
of
to do is not make the mistakes I made. Learn from my mistakes.
Now you're touring the country. You're coming to Leeds, aren't you?
Yes, indeed.
Which I think is our closest.
I don't know the exact dates yet, because we've had such tremendous response that we're having to rethink the venues slightly, get slightly larger venues in the new year.
You know that here, unfortunately, some people call us the obesity capital of the UK, sadly.
I didn't know Leeds was.
Which is in Hull, where we are.
Oh, really?
Yes. So, which is
Why, I wonder?
Of course. Well, we're all sylph-like things here, but perhaps you should drop here.
Well, absolutely. It's getting to the point where it's going to have to be. I feel like a rock star. I'm doing a big tour, and we're going to have to increase the number of dates or something. Right. But I mean, this is a subject. You see, I mean, we know that there's a national obesity epidemic. It's not surprising that people want to take proactive action to protect their own health. It's important.
Right. OK, well, hopefully we will see you up here, and if people want to know more, there is a website, isn't there?
www.fathappens.com. You'll have the full benefit of my story and all my mistakes on there, but all the links to where you can get lots of advice and help.
Anne Diamond, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.